do my glasses. Should I put my mask on? No, I guess not. All right. Where are you speaking from?
I am in my home.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
So it looks like, all right, people are starting to trickle in now.
Okay.
Good. All right, well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Occupational Health and Safety Information session for the UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education Division. And thank you for coming and attending with us today. Just going to give a moment here as we've just opened up and letting people come and join us. My name is Hannah Moore, and I am the manager for the Occupational Health and Safety program, and also manage the Workplace Health and Safety certificate. So I will be your main speaker today. Let's see, we've got folks coming in. So I'll get started here and hopefully we'll get some more people joining us. So kind of our quick agenda here. We'll do some welcome introductions, talk about the program and the certificate, and then we're going to do an instructor spotlight. And after that will be a Q&A session. So as I said, I'm Hannah Moore, and I am the program manager. I see that I've got a bit of an older photo on here, so I should probably update that soon. A little bit old at this point. Even my glasses are different. Yeah, I am the main program contact for the Occupational Health and Safety program and the certificate. Unfortunately, today, the program director, Monica Jackson, was unable to join us, but she oversees the Occupational Health and Safety program along with our Land Use and Natural Resources program. And so she's also a great person working and helping us with everything. And our instructor today is Michael Cooper, and he, as you can see from his description here, is a private consultant, and he's got extensive experience developing and directing corporate compliance programs and improving the culture of safety. And so we're really excited to have him here, and he's been a longtime instructor with us, and he's got a lot of great stories and a lot of great things to say. So and he's got a course coming up in our spring quarter. So hopefully you'll be excited to join us in that course in the next quarter. And so just as to get started here, we're going to do a little poll, just something fun before we get into kind of the meat of everything. And so our first poll would be, which superpower would you like to have? So hopefully you're now seeing on your screen some options. We've got mind reading, invisibility, teleportation, and flying. Looks like almost everybody has voted so far, but let's give it a moment more. All right, looks like everybody has voted, and we've got a 50-50 split there between mind reading and teleportation. So that's interesting. Nobody wants to fly and nobody wants to be invisible. I personally, I think I would go with teleportation. Is what I would like to do. I don't know, Mike, if you've got a choice there. All right. So going to poll number 2. This is a little bit more for us to get to know you. So how many of you have taken a course with UC Davis Continuing Professional Education? We used to be known as UC Davis Extension a couple of years back. All right, so got everybody in, and it looks like most of you have not taken a course with us before, but we do have somebody that has. So hopefully we'll be able to answer some of your questions, but if you do come up with any questions during the course of this presentation, you can use the Q&A option to ask your questions, or use the chat to let us know if you have any questions, and we'll do our best to answer it live. If not, we can always get back to you with more detailed answers. So just a little bit about UC Davis Continuing Professional Education. Our mission is that we are the lifelong learning arm of UC Davis, and we provide learning opportunities that we like to say transform people, organizations, and communities. So our focus is with generally with adult learners, those that are in, either in their field of work and a career, that are looking to advance in their career, or they're looking to, maybe change careers, some looking to do promotions, or to, specialize in some form of their career. And so, that's where we come in and assist and help you gather those skills and learn in order to do that kind of work. We have served, nearly 62,000 annual enrollments, and we've got more than 3,000 courses. We serve students, in the greater Sacramento region, and also in all 50 states, and in, over 100 countries, especially now that we are, online, remote, with COVID. We have been able to extend that reach outside of the Sacramento region a bit more, and we've taken it as an opportunity to do that, where we're generally with our in-person courses, it's a little bit more limited with people that can come in. So we are, while this has been interesting and tough at times, we do see it as an opportunity in order to reach more people. And so we hope that you also take that as an opportunity to learn with us. And we have over 50 plus years of developing training programs, in the field of environmental education. So, this is not new to us. Remote learning might be new to us, but the education is not new to us. And so, we, as I said, we've been working in education, adult education, for a long time. And, in that time, we've got courses that we offer in business, health sciences, land use, human services, winemaking, brewing, all sorts of things. And we've offered many different things over the years. And so, when we're always looking to get into new areas and to expand, we offer courses when we are in person. We do offer courses in Sacramento, some in Davis, and currently mostly online at the moment. But we do, in a general, even when we're in person, we do offer online classes. So we try to be able to serve you in multiple ways as our students. We have multiple certificate programs, and we also do individual classes. So we do try to offer something for everybody, depending on where you are and what you're looking for. And we do, our content, as we've talked about, has been tailored to adult learners. And so we know that you've got, generally you're working, you may be working full-time, you're doing full-time days. And so we understand that, and we try to make our courses in a way that you're able to take and are effective for the life that you're leading. And we also do customized trainings for organizations, or contract trainings. So if you are working for a business and you're looking for something for your organization, we are able to serve that need as well. So coming into our third poll, just to get an idea of where you are and why you're interested. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in our workplace health and safety program. So we've got, you could be a current safety manager, or you're looking to become the safety manager. People are often asked to become a safety manager, or you're looking to, seek a promotional opportunity in your workplace. All right, you have a couple more seconds here. All right, so it looks like for the most part, you are already the safety manager at your workplace. And so I assume then you're looking to, gain more knowledge to increase your skills. And we've got the classes to help you do that. Somebody wants to become the safety manager. So yeah, we can definitely help you there. So thank you. Just a little bit about, being able to finance your education here. Many times people are paying out of pocket, or their employer may be covering costs, but we also do accept different educational loans and training funds. Such as the Workforce Investment Act, the Veterans Education Benefits, student loans, and such. And we've got some folks that work in our student services that are able to help you navigate that in order to apply those funds to learning for that. So you can see that we've got a link there, which is financing your education. You can find that on our website. And that will be able to connect you with somebody that can help you with those options. And we also offer some course discounts. If you're a part of the Cal Aggie Alumni Association, that can be a $50 discount. Professional partners, we can offer a 10% discount. And something, if you are taking courses with others from your workplace, we've got a group enrollments, which has to be 3 or more that are enrolled at the same time for the same class, and there's a 10% discount. So if you are, interested in taking something with your colleagues, I say that is a great option to take advantage of. And since you are attending our information session today, once we have completed, you'll be sent a follow-up email by tomorrow, and there will be a $100 coupon, which is good off of one class once. So, if you find something that you like here, I hope that you'll join us in taking class, and it'll be a good start with that $100 coupon. So just a quick overview of our health and safety program. We've got courses, obviously health and safety, emergency management, some environmental management, and hazardous materials. So those are the areas of study that we cover in our various classes. We also have a hazardous materials program. Currently, while online, we are offering the 8-hour HAZWOPER refresher as a course, but there are others that we eventually will be offering when we get back into the classroom, such as air quality and chemicals of product stewardship and such. And about the certificate, which you've heard me talk about a couple of times here, the Workplace Health and Safety Manager Certificate Program. It is fully accredited and academically approved by the UC Davis campus department and faculty. So the academic units you receive are the equivalent of graduate units, which depending on the institution, they can be transferable, but you'd have to talk to the institution you're transferring to. The certificate consists of 9 required courses, and it is approximately $5,700 to complete the certificate. And there is an additional $125 application fee, which is non-refundable, but you can complete the program in as little as 24 months, as we generally offer each course twice a year. So depending on your schedule, you can finish it up fairly quickly. These are the courses that we have within the program. And today with Mike Cooper, he is our instructor for the Health and Safety Management and Program Development course. And so I think I got to listen in a bit on his class this past fall, and it's pretty interesting. So I'm excited to speak with him in a little bit. And something we also offer with the certificate is the accelerated certificate path, which is an option where you could complete in 3 years and you would receive your final course for free. And we would also cover your $125 certificate application fee. So this is a really good option if you are motivated to finish. Generally, the certificates have to be finished within a 5-year period to be applicable with the units. But if you're interested in doing it in 3, we definitely offer some great incentives to do so. So if that is something that you're interested in, you can reach out to me. I'll have my contact information listed at the end of the presentation, and we can talk about what that means and how to get you enrolled. And I will now be moving on to our instructor spotlight with Mike Cooper. I'll be asking him some questions, and he's got some slides that he'll be presenting, and I think you'll all enjoy and learn a lot. So hello, Mike.
Hi there, Hannah. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I don't look anything like that photo, but that's all right.
Hey, you're just not wearing the suit. But this is the world of remote working, right?
Indeed.
So can you tell us about your upcoming course, Health and Safety Management and Program Development, and how it can benefit our students in their careers?
You bet. Is there a slide that goes with this? Oh, there you go. So the course, Health and Safety Management and Program Development, is one of the core courses, one of the 9 offered through the UC Davis certificate program. And what we try and do is utilize both the literature, the basic theories in environmental health and safety management, my own background, which is a combination of running EHS programs within a variety of different industries for a number of years, and my background in consulting, which has put me into more businesses than I can count, looking at their EH&S from that viewpoint, as well as, and not to put it least, the experience of the folks in the class generally add a tremendous amount to the course as well. These are folks that are actually doing the work, and it generally turns out that there's a lot of value in the ability to have a small group of people that are interested in the same topics that you can rely on after the course is over, and that will share their information. So some of the practical aspects in terms of tools to help manage EH&S programs, I've listed a few here. So some of these will be knowledgeable to the folks that are participating. An SIPP is a Site Incident Prevention Plan. It's one of the better ways to manage contractors on site. White papers is a tool or a technique that can be used for informal processes that don't find their way into policies. HAZWOPER, or hazardous operability studies, is a key component to help assess the risks associated with deviations from normal processes. There's several others on this list. I guess a couple of the more important ones would be the SIF precursors. So we spend a lot of time talking about serious injuries and fatalities because that's kind of the thing that you want to prevent, is the low frequency, high severity consequences of your particular accidents that could be present. And so examining precursors in a number of different industries generally gives the class a really good look at practically at how to set up a program that would manage that.
Great.
There may be, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, we've got my next question, unless you've got some more you'd like to share about.
I think probably the next slide would be helpful, Hannah, only because it sort of outlines some of the key areas within the safety, health and safety management program development. What we're really trying to do here is to discuss current theories in both management and accident prevention. And that's everything from identifying very clearly the management obligations for health and safety. That's a question that should be asked and answered by anybody who's going to be running an EHS program. Also, to come up with a prevention program or a prevention mechanism to manage serious injuries and fatalities. And so we do this with a series of both practical components as well as case studies. There are a number of different new theories out there. So the a la Sidney Decker, Todd Conklin, et cetera, talking about what's the sort of old way of looking at safety and what's a new way of looking at safety. And these have come up within the last 10 or 15 years, and they keep getting refined better and better to help give some information and understanding that if you're going to do accident investigation and you're going to stop, or you're going to look for somebody to blame and something that went out of compliance with the procedure, you will always find them. And the trick is not to stop there. So some of the issues about problems with hindsight bias and accident investigations are also explored. We are very interested in the course to talk through development and barriers to safety culture. And we round this out with some of the adult learning models and litigation trends to make sure that whatever program you do develop is a defensible program.
Wow, yeah, that's I know that I said that I had sat in on your course a bit in the fall, and it was pretty fascinating to me as somebody that does not have a background in health and safety, and just the different topics that I kind of listened in on here and there. And so I feel like your course is a great one for folks to take in their career, and really getting a handle on this aspect of health and safety. So.
Well, we'll have to get you to listen to the whole course here, Hannah.
That may happen over the over the course of the next couple of years. I may end up taking the entire course just by happen chance. All right. So I guess kind of I read your bio there, but I guess what would you say is your kind of specific industry, and how many years have you worked in it, and what kind of changes have you seen during that time?
Well, too many years to count at this point. But I started out my career as I'm a chemist, so as a lab chemist, and then migrated my way into doing analytical work for industrial hygiene samples, and that led me into safety and health. So with that, I took courses just like the UC Davis program, and got the basics under my belt, and then started managing safety and health programs, and then finally directing those programs on a global basis for a couple of companies. And the industries have been quite varied. Semiconductor is probably where I cut my teeth, but pharmaceutical, the grocery industry, the heavy machinery, food processing, those are all very familiar industries just because I've spent a lot of time in those areas. So it's a combination of both working in the industries themselves as well as some years of consulting and handling litigation matters for health and safety in terms of defense over time.
Let's see. And I guess, are there any trends or any upcoming issues that you're seeing? And I guess what kind of reasons do you think there are for these changes? I guess I can kind of imagine maybe a big one is COVID.
Well, yes, everyone's going to, COVID's changing the landscape, really. But there are some things that are also trending that are not COVID related. So if you're sick and tired of COVID, then you'll be more appreciative of those. If we could do the next slide. What that shows, one of these key areas that we talk about in the course is the management obligations for health and safety. And the reference down on the bottom is a very good reference for this particular topic. And if you were to ask me a real simple way to define what the management obligations were for health and safety, which is what a EH&S supervisor or manager or director is going to be trying to implementing, it really boils down to some simple items. They're not always simple to accomplish, but they're certainly simple to state. Both things like identifying hazards, assessing the risks of those, and developing controls. That's really kind of what the core of EHS management obligations are. But beyond that, we need some kind of a feedback loop to implement the controls, with a really important supervision and line management who is going to really implement the program for us, to periodically assess the effectiveness, and finally, of course, a feedback loop to revise controls as needed. I think the next slide talks about some of the trends. If we
The
could
next
see.
slide had some injury and fatality prevention.
There you go. So I'll mention two trends that I've certainly seen for a number of years. Serious injury and fatality prevention has been a key focus for, and this is sort of new. I mean, we didn't look at this for a long period of time. And what we generally saw in a lot of industries in the 90s and 2000s is OSHA injury and illness rates dropping over time, and that's a good thing. However, year after year, fatalities have not experienced a similar decline. And we can certainly stop wrist injuries or minor cuts and lacerations, but we would be much more effective if we stopped serious injuries and fatalities. And so as a result, many groups looking at human performance, looking at some of the theories around serious injury and fatality prevention have discussed this, and they've kind of come up with this idea that solving serious injury and fatalities is not the same as solving basic compliance issues. And some companies, even though they're seeing decreases in OSHA incident rates, which is a traditional trailing metric, have seen an uptick in serious near-miss events. And so one of the concepts here is that it's clear that we need a different approach to managing serious injury and fatalities over time, and that it's not sufficient to use just the traditional approach of identifying hazards and doing training and doing accident investigation. There's something else that needs to be involved here. I think the next slide talks about that a little bit more. And some of those have to do with when we start talking about serious injury and fatalities, there's a sort of a mistaken concept that the OSHA data will somehow be a way to gauge whether or not we're going to see serious injuries and fatalities. And that's really a myth that hasn't borne out over time. And an overemphasis on probability estimates or failure to, looking at things like a higher level of controls and assumptions that are made by unsafe acts. Those are interesting, but as you can see from this slide, these are myths, if you will, which if everything on this list is taken into account, except for the first one, and we still see fatalities, then something else is missing. And so that's what we delve into in this course, is taking a look at how you really look at serious injury and fatality precursors, and understanding that OSHA data and the Heinrich pyramid of things, unsafe acts leading to unsafe actions leading to a serious injury, that those aren't really effective tools or models because they're a little bit outdated from what we now know about serious injury and fatalities.
All right.
One other trend, Hannah, that I would throw in there is that there is also an interesting trend these days. Plaintiff lawyers are always looking for cases, And a couple of the areas that are very interesting, at least on my radar screen at this point, have to do with chemicals in the workplace and exposures to chemicals in the workplace. And
Oh,
the ability for plaintiff lawyers to move cases forward, for example, in the semiconductor industry, where the plaintiffs argue that exposure to very low levels of chemicals may have caused various issues, injuries or illnesses, or maybe reproductive harm to employees is a pretty big topic nowadays, because
mhm.
several of these cases are actually in play, and it's going to be fascinating to see how they come out, because in many cases these exposure levels are below recognized occupational safety and health exposure limits.
Oh,
So that's going to be a big deal, I think, moving forward.
oh yeah, that does sound, yeah, I mean, I can only imagine that does affect, because you would say, like you said, it's below, but the accumulation of that and how that's going to affect things in the future with how those play out. So, oh, that's I guess that'll be interesting to see, and I guess interesting for you to add into into your course as that happens.
Yeah, and I think the bottom line is that we will, you want to have a course and certainly have an EHS program that builds a defensible infrastructure, and that's sort of my perspective as we go through this. I have a bias to industry and to chemical, safe chemical usage.
Mhm.
So if there's any bias out there, that's probably it, because I think we need to have businesses that are producing goods and materials within the U.S., and use of chemicals is part of that. But we need to be able to build a defensible structure, so that we don't end up down the road with gaps which leave way for either injuries, illnesses, or litigation.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, and I'm glad that you're out there doing these things. um, so I guess there is one more slide that I had here. I don't know if you want to speak to it, but it was about the hindsight bias before we go into your experience with the online learning this past fall.
Sure. This is just one of those topics really within the course as we start to look at things like accident investigation. We have to really remember that there is this idea of hindsight bias, which basically the idea is that it's very, very difficult to reconstruct something that has happened in the past with data that we have in front of us. And the reason for that is we can easily find, who was to blame, what they did wrong, and then we can stop there. But what we're missing there is the whole picture of the system within which those situations occurred. So the idea that when we do accident investigations, what we're unfortunately looking for is we're trying to use the notion of looking backwards to find patterns that fit. And sometimes we focus on human error and training as opposed to system parameters and system flaws. And if I can say it simply, the concept here is that we tend to do accident investigations by looking at the set of facts and then fitting it together from our knowledge after the event occurred. And the
Mhm.
people that made the injuries never get to see that viewpoint. They're looking at a system which has maybe many diverse options or routes for them to pursue. They may know some of the hazards associated with some of those routes, but not all of them. And when it's all said and done, it's so easy to find fault and blame and forget about some of the real issues that would help prevent errors that would occur in the future. Humans make errors.
Mhm.
Finding those errors isn't what we're after with accident investigation, and blame almost always does no good. So if we start with those premises, then we can have a much more successful accident investigation.
Yeah, no, I totally I mean, I think that's a great approach to that, because you're right. It's mistakes are going to happen, but it's how can you learn from that and move forward as opposed to looking backwards.
Yeah, and that's part of the new safety theory. That most of the writers in the literature are coming around to the concept that just finding fault and error is not a very robust way to manage safety and health accident or incident investigations. There's a lot of better ways to do it. They take more time. They may take more resources, but they're much better at being able to minimize consequences and severities down the road.
Yeah, and that ultimately should be what your health and safety program is doing. Is
It'd be nice not to make the same mistakes over and over again.
exactly exactly. Thank you. So I guess just one last question. Can you talk a bit about your experience with teaching remotely this past fall, and kind of what you got from it, and kind of, I guess, pros and cons?
And there are pros and cons. Probably the biggest pro, the only reason I survived teaching this online during COVID times was because I had expert help from UC Davis, which means you, Hannah. Um,
Thank you.
the Zoom course is longer. We stretch it out over time because nobody wants to sit and listen to a Zoom conversation for 8+ hours a day. The materials has to be broken up a little bit. There's a little bit of limitation for in-class exercises and ability to learn from peers. There's just because of the Zoom thing. During the classroom presentations, we're able to have lunchroom talks where we can add in new concepts. Obviously, it's safer to manage it on Zoom. The first time I taught the course was last year during 2020. I look forward to being able to move back into the classroom or some sort of a hybrid where we could do maybe the classroom for a couple of days and Zoom for a couple of days, but we'll see how that goes in the future.
Well, thank you. And I know, this has all been a big learning experience for me too, and for our instructors. And I have to say that Mike had a great attitude. It was challenging at times, and I know, trying to get through it, but I think Mike had a great attitude. And I know that the students really did enjoy his class that he taught last year. So, he's gonna do round 2 for us in the spring. So hopefully we've got some lessons learned and it won't be too, I don't know if you would have said it was a painful experience, but hopefully you'll got some lessons learned, and we'll be able to make it a good one coming this spring. So I guess if anybody has any questions, either for me about the program or for Mike about his course, or even some general questions about occupational health and safety, I think Mike might be able to answer any of those. You can use the Q&A function to ask them, or you can also use the chat function to ask any questions.
Hannah, do we have a date for the spring course?
Yes, we do. Let me bring that up real quick. I believe we do actually have it. It's actually open already for students to be able to enroll this spring, along with our other spring classes. But I think, Mike's class definitely has a good kind of overview if you are developing a program or working on your health and safety management program. So Mike's course begins on May 17th and it runs until May 26th. Like Mike said, normally this class is 4 days in the classroom, but it is 8 days online. As we said, it is the information is a bit more spread out. There are still what we call live sessions. that occur. And so Mike's course has 4 live sessions, which are from 2 to 5 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the following Tuesday of that 17th to 26th time frame. And those are where he'll do some live lecturing, answer questions. You'll be able to interact with Mike and also with the other students in the class. And so all of our remote classes are set up in a similar fashion, where we have live sessions where you'll be able to do the remote live interaction with everyone. And then other parts of the course are online, pre-recorded activities and such that are in our Canvas classroom. I guess I'm not seeing any questions here. If anybody has any questions that they think of later, you can always reach out to me. I will share my contact information. Or before the end of this, if something does come up, please use the Q&A or the chat function to reach out. So our last poll for this presentation is, what is your next step? Are you ready to enroll? Do you need to think about it? Are there some questions you have? You're not maybe sure that this program is what you're looking for. All right, got almost everybody's answered. Give a few more seconds here. It looks like there might be some questions. Some people want some time to think about it, which is all fair. But as I said, I'm definitely available for any questions that you have about the program, about our courses. Let me share that information with you. So we've got, we are online. We've got our email address, which you can reach out to us, which is ohsinfo@ucdavis.edu. And that will come to me and I will answer any questions you have there. You can also check us out on our website, which and you can see what courses that we're offering along with Mike's and other courses we have coming in the spring. And we also have a Facebook page, which we do post about upcoming courses. We post about different articles and subjects that are, in the health and safety world. I see the hyperlink does not work. Yeah, because it is on our presentation. So I can throw that into the chat for everyone. Give me a moment to give that to you all. So this is in the chat. I've just put the link. Goes directly to our website, and you can see what courses and such that we are offering currently. We are working on getting our summer classes up also, so you'll be able to get a chance to see all of that. I do not have the Facebook link up. There we go. Let's see. But yeah, as I was saying, our Facebook page, we do post a lot of articles and such. So, just trying to keep things, up to date on what's happening in health and safety. And we've got that link up also. So if you are interested, follow us on Facebook, check out our classes on our website. And then, if you do want to set up a Zoom meeting with me directly, you can use my Calendly link, which I will also post in the chat. And it is also, if you have had or you're, do use email with me. It is also in my email signature that you can reach out to me at any time. But this will set up. You can use that to set up like a short 15-minute Zoom, meeting with me, and I can answer any questions about the program or anything like that. So, if you've got any other questions, we're just about at the end of our session here. All right. And, thank you so much for coming to our webinar today, our information session. I hope that you've learned a bit about CPE, continuing professional education, and our program here, and that you enjoyed our instructor spotlight with Mike Cooper. As always, any questions, please reach out. I am more than happy to answer anything and to connect with you. Thank you, Mike, for being with us today. And I look forward to working with you real soon on getting spring all set up.
Very good. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, everybody. And I hope you all have a great afternoon, or hopefully wherever you are, that the rest of your day goes well. All right. Bye.